Hi everyone, welcome to Ethernal Realms and welcome to this reading. We will see what your greatest hits are in this lifetime or your greatest achievements. So we have pile 1 over here, pile 2, pile 3 and pile 4. Make sure to choose your reading with your intuition. If you're not sure how, you can visit the video in the ribbon above and it will walk you through it. And once you've made your choice, the reading for you will be in the description box in the comment below in the timestamps. Once you've made your choice, we will get started. Hi pile 1, welcome to Ethernal Realms and welcome to your reading. We will see what your greatest achievements or the greatest hits are of your life. So let's begin with these and then we get into your tarot and we will do some more oracle and astro dice as well. So we have Ganesh coming up and we have Ajna. I don't know exactly, like the spelling in Hindi is just really confusing to me, like what do you want me to say? So I'm just going to call this the third eye chakra, basically. That's what it translates to in English. And Ganesh is the deity of protection and also of benevolence. It's about generosity, also having an innocent childlike spirit in order to learn a lot. This deity is quite knowledgeable and very powerful in how he protects. There's a lot of wisdom that comes with this symbolism, and so does the third eye chakra. So what I'm getting is that there is a very strong sense of spiritual connection that you are developing in this lifetime, and that is going to be one of the most, the greatest achievements that you are acquiring. Apart from that, there's a lot of grace and benevolence that you attract towards yourself. It seems as though you are a giver, but you also have a very good sense of boundaries, like how much can you help other people versus how much is their business or their consequences. But when it comes to loving people, you are known to be a protector, and you can really, it's as though you can sense when your loved ones are in trouble in any way or anything that you're working on. It doesn't have to be people necessarily, but like any projects that you're very close to, any passions that you have, it's as though you want to nurture it. There is a sense of, I want to understand more, I want to know more. So you can be someone who follows or pursues their passion or purpose. And this indicates that you might have a good idea of what your purpose is. It can be based on belief systems and your general level of awareness about the world instead of from a spiritual perspective strictly, but still it connects you with your spiritual body, it aligns you with your moral compass, you have a good set of ethics, and you try to practice a sense of balance in all areas of your life. It's not always easy. That's where we have the boundary work, and that being one of your achievements. It seems as though, at one point you did not have good sets of boundaries, but then you learned about that in various encounters, in various relationships, and at the end of this level of development, you have a very good idea of who you are, what your capabilities are, what your potentials are, how you can explore those things, i.e. you have great sense of self-worth and knowledge, and that's when kind of simultaneously you can see others and empathize with others a lot more, but you don't have to take on their emotions in order to empathize with them. Hence, you have a strong boundary. Okay, you might also have completed a lot of education, gone through a lot of degrees, or like thought about bigger topics. This can indicate a philosophical bent of mind as well. So that could be some of the other achievements. Now, we have the Two of Swords. Okay, then we got a lot of cards for you, by the way. We have Death and Rebirth. Quite intense. This is connected with Scorpio. We have the Page of Swords. Yeah, reading, learning. You might have read a lot, explored many different topics, maybe head of the debate team, discussions, like you have good ways of communicating with people. And also Two of Swords indicates that you always look at both sides of the coin. You don't favor one side over the other, and sometimes it can be very hard when you do that right. It can be quite hard to, very strongly decide towards one side or the other, unless something is like quite obviously off key. But yeah, when you listen to both sides of an equation, it says that you can understand both sides, and therefore you don't know if you want to choose one side or the other. Okay, this can also indicate that many times in life you have not known where you are headed, and it could have been quite confusing. But that's exactly when your intuition awakens or has awakened, so that you listen to your inner voice. And that was one of the bigger lessons in your life, and that's also helping you achieve a lot more things in life, right? Once you learn something, you put that in your toolkit and you use that as a resource, right? It's sort of that vibe. Now, with the death and rebirth, it's as though you're very perceptive and observant of other people, their nuances, their needs, body language, and all of that. The Scorpio rules psychology. You could have studied psychology. Maybe you want to understand other people's minds and how you can get a better gauge of what other people's intentions are, for example, including your own. This can also indicate that you've gone through some big transformations, which has led to a lot of profound awakening and realizations within yourself. It has connected you more and more to your deeper part of yourself. Okay, so even if ending something might not be pleasant, it has always led you back home, i.e. within yourself. Okay. Page of Swords can indicate that because you have a strong communication or thought style, you can connect with a diversity of people. You can understand many different cultures and where they come from. It's not about one or the other, it's about all of it and trying to see where all of this fits. And we can't understand all of it unless we keep a beginner mind or a curious and open mind, right? Then we have Eight of Cups. Wow. Again, like leaving things behind, closing out chapters. We have 10 of Swords, one more of those cards, okay? And we also have Ace of Wands. That is excellent. So, let me see, I'm going to place this. But 2 cards about leaving, 3 cards actually, of leaving behind things that are toxic, honestly. The Death and Rebirth, 8 of Cups, and the 10 of Swords is like closing out a chapter, saying goodbye to old habits, old patterns, old people, old connections, all of that, in order to go in search for something that is much healthier and will keep you more in balance. So there could have been many situations where you had to close the door, you had to walk out. There are many habits perhaps you have purged. And that has always like made you stronger. It has made you more aware. I feel like your experiences are the ones that made you so wise. And it's again, you can, because you've been through stuff, you can understand people from many different backgrounds. Okay, and many different types of problems that exist. You can communicate them in a very wholesome manner. Page of Swords is usually very concise. Okay, might not say it correctly though, as a card, as an archetype, right? But you know, it wants to like keep it short and sweet. It wants to just get to the point. It does not do the whole diplomacy stuff. Okay, even this card over here with the third eye chakra, it's like, you know, this is the intuition. There you go. If it is something bad, you'll know. If it's something good, you'll know. Like, it doesn't care for, you know, okay, let me like lay the bed, do some groundwork, let me compliment you a bit, and then I'm going to give you some bad news, right? It's just going to say what's up, like, that's dangerous, don't do that, right? So it's as though you know how to listen to the other people's side without taking it very personally. And the same thing you do with life and life experiences. Okay, you could have moved around a lot as well. So many different houses, many different locations. So foreign travel, diversity, that is another, you know, achievement here. Ace of Wands indicates a lot of creativity, inspiration, motivational. So you could be a motivational speaker, or you have that skill here. And even if you don't do it as a profession, you practicing it in your everyday life is your life's achievement as well. You know how to listen to your intuition now voluntarily. That's one of the achievements too. And that allows you to kind of know when time's up on something. Okay. For example, we can't be 20 forever. We can't be, you know, 30 forever. It's like everything is continuously evolving. And if you're able to understand when that change is coming, and be respectful of the change that already is, then it's much easier to flow with it, much easier to work with it, and also much easier to get our end of the bargain from each of the change. So therefore, we're kind of steering it better. That's why we need foresight. You have incredible future planning as well. It can be that you have great time and task management. Once again, if you work in a corporate place, you have employees or you have some people working underneath you positionally, then you are able to hear their side of the story and kind of understand their needs, but you can also enforce your needs at that particular time. So there is a lot of respect that you earn through all of this. It's as though others know you know a lot, right? And you can express that very well, and that you will be fair in your judgment. Okay, next we have Venus, which is the planet for love, beauty, art, harmony, and relationship. So something creative could be an achievement as well, where you translate your experiences in a different way, breaking out of the box, breaking out of the norm. That's what these endings are basically talking about, and therefore you have a fresh new perspective. It can be that you've cleansed a lot of karma as well, or your soul has deliberately chosen some difficult circumstances, so that breaking out of it, breaking free from it, is going to elevate itself a lot. Like, it will refine the spiritual quality of your soul. So that's why it wants to go through certain things, and that's the purpose that is being achieved, basically. Now with Venus, you could have achieved a level of status, or you will, which is adored and respected by many. It's like you're delivering an art piece, let's say, and you put your love into that, and that love is kind of sensed by other people. So whatever work or whatever way that you show up in the world, in your public sense, how you communicate with the people around you as well, is coming from a place of empathy and compassion. Even if you're scolding someone for something, you don't have to hate the person in order to teach them a lesson or something, right? Like, you can communicate it to them differently, or you can say your intention before you do your tough love, right? Venus combines the Valentine's type of love, and also it's the tough love, right? It kind of is both two sides of the coin. So yeah, the connections and relationships that you form are as well a very strong achievement. Perhaps the partner you choose or the friends that you choose are people to be proud of, yeah, really. Wow. So a lot of beauty that you're inspiring, a lot of motivation as well comes in with Venus. Then we have Taurus. This is that self-respect and empowerment, understanding your boundaries, kind of being protective of whatever and whoever holds that value and, not authority, but like your sense of security and stability and all of that. You can safeguard what is yours, basically. You know how to value. You don't take your things for granted. And it could be because you've at some point not had that much. So you know and you understand the value of something very small. And therefore it leads to you to appreciate everything a lot more than you would have otherwise. And it actually magnetizes you to attract more and more abundance. When you hit the third eye, it's like it starts to exponentially grow, and right above it is the crown chakra, and that's where we meet infinity. So our higher self, we connect with God and the universe, or whatever you want to call it, the infinite self, basically, if you can even call it a self. It kind of connects to that. So once you hit the third eye, it's funneling outward, and it indicates how you are growing in this life as well. It's like cleansing something, dealing with the toxicities, shedding karma, the paying off debts, basically, all of that. And there is one junction where there is an awakening. That's when you're like getting out of a situation or a habit, lifestyle. It's like a big turnaround, and that's when everything just starts opening and flourishing. There's a lot more opportunity that kind of comes to you. But you're just as willing to extend yourself and kind of nurture it. Wow. Next we have shift the way to new potential. Excellent. So this is kind of reiterating what we've been talking about. Not going to repeat myself. Then we have creator alchemy. This is creating anything out of all the ingredients. So thinking creatively, breaking out of the norm, doing something outside of the box, kind of healing yourself is as well part of this, healing other people through your words, through your ideas, helping other people in need, being able to sense that. It can be through your wisdom, it can be through like art, it can be through charity work as well, various ways that this can show up. But either way, there is a connectedness with the global world in some way, okay? So it can be through your research as well, that you might be, helping the world somehow. Okay, then we have you are epic. Okay, well, there you go. You have your ego boost, right? We have card number 4. This connects with the Emperor. That indicates that you're a leader of something, or you have taken a lot of initiative. You've ended a lot of cycles. You've established new structures. You know how to be a good leader of your own life, of your people. You might have your own business where you're aiming to help other people in need through your intuition, perhaps. What else? I feel like you have broken out a lot of sticky situation, uncomfortable situations, and it has made you so strong that you're like humbled by life, but also you are empowered by life all at the same time. Okay, and this circle at the very top is open. It's as though allowing the infinite rays to kind of come in to open themselves this diagram up, i.e. you are open to more insight and kind of more divine intervention wherever need be, right? And that's what keeps you kind of strong and keep on staying strong, basically. Next we have the Vision. Excellent. And we have the Dead End. Yeah, saying no to something could have been like a, you know, huge achievement, you know. Yeah, saying no to something, closing out cycles, patterns, kind of not perpetuate. If you have like difficult karmic cycles that were repeating, then stopping that cycle is actually really hard when you're in the situation, right? So saying no is the breakout point. The moment you say that, you're out of it. You're not dealing with the same stuff anymore, right? So making that huge change is one of the achievements. It also includes, you know, you have goals and you're one by one just completing each and everything. You're like, I want this, I do this, it's done. Next, you know, I do this and that. So you're like constantly up leveling. You have your goals with the Vision as well. You have a strategy, or you have good foresight. Again, you can look within, you can understand the outside, and you can plan ahead very effectively, while at the same time leaving enough flexibility for yourself. You're very focused and determined as well, and I love that, you know, this Emperor card comes in here. It fits in so perfectly with all of this. Yeah, it just indicates incredible self-empowerment and strength, honestly. Okay, let's see your Astro dice. Pile 1, please. Greatest achievements. The world that you connect with, the people you encounter. Once again, the Vision is like really large. It's more global in that way. We have Scorpio, which corresponds to the death and rebirth. We have the first house, and we have Saturn. Yeah, healing the karma, getting through the limitations, self-inhibited or externally inflicted. You know, getting out of unhealthy authority patterns, any toxic, you know, influences or limitations that were put on you, or you have put on yourself subconsciously or consciously. You know, all those things, working out of those things, not restricting yourself anymore, but using the Saturn is very much about authority and structure. It's about taking on responsibility, but if you take on too much, you're going to be crippled. If you do not take enough, then, you know, maturity does not grow as efficiently as it could. This is the planet of efficiency as well, and productivity. Like, you work hard, you're dedicated, you're disciplined. It's not about achieving a lot one day and then flaking out the other day. It's like doing something every single day. So you might have that scheduling and task management and keeping yourself on those tasks like properly down. So that makes you a very good leader here. It could be that you've not had very good leader figures or authority figures, and that's what you have transformed as well. So in other words, you're not propagating the difficulties that you have encountered in your life. It's sort of like, if I have gone through this and learned from it, I know that that is not good, it doesn't work, so I'm not going to pass it along to my next generation or to the next in line for the, you know, leadership position or whatever, right? You learn from it and you change the course of things. That's very, very powerful. So that's what I have for you, Pile 1. Thank you so much for being here. I really hope the reading resonated and that it helps you out. Let me know your thoughts. If you want a personal reading, you can reach me via Etsy. The link is in the description box and the comment below. I will see you some other time. Until then, take care. Bye. Hi Pile 2, welcome to your reading. We will see what your greatest hits are, or what your greatest achievements are in this lifetime. So we have the throat chakra coming up first. So speaking your truth, understanding your truth, following your purpose, kind of connecting with your intuition, teaching, learning, somehow with communication or through your voice, through music perhaps. You are completing some sort of achievement. There's some metamorphosis as well going on here, so you could have been through quite a bit. We have Satya, which is about the truth, following the path of truth, knowing your purpose. You might be helping other people find their purpose as well. But yeah, following your purpose is one of those things, being virtuous, honorable, being truthful even in difficult times, but also conveying what you want to convey in a very suitable manner for the situation. And we have Saraswati, which is about well-educated or well-learned. This is very skilled, so even if you don't have formal education, it doesn't matter. This is like having a very strong skill set, and you're naturally gifted and talented in many different skills. So it can be music, it can be writing and reading, it can be through your grace and compassion. The points that you make, you might be very fair, honest, and objective. Yeah, it kind of ties in very well here. Saraswati is also the goddess of blessings and abundance. Would not be necessarily financially, but it obviously, you need certain skills to bring yourself to the financial success. But if you have the blessings of this goddess, then you definitely have a lot of skills in your, what do you call that? In your skill set, basically. Anyway. Then we have, what do we have? Fourth house. This can indicate the home and family, but also relates with your inner self, your inner truth, your inner presence, and also indicates ancestry. Okay. Then we have Uranus, which is about rebel, reform, unpredictability, and eccentricity. So yeah, following your inner truth is obviously going to make you very unique. Someone else cannot do what you do. Oh yeah. I have this reminder right here. It says no one else can do what you do the way you do it. That is your superpower. So whenever I feel low, I'm like, yeah, I got this, right? So this might really help you out as well. Or this is something that you have learned, basically. And it just says that, be true to your unique self. Express yourself in the way that you are. There's no need to be someone else because the someone else is already taken. So yes, Uranus is about stepping into that, even if it goes against certain norms. But it is not a rebel without a cause or without a reason, right? There is a very strong way that you can express yourself, in the way that you conduct yourself, the vibe that you have. It can be spontaneous. You can convince people really well because you're speaking the truth, but you make really valid points, and that's what can convince people. And with this here, you have a very good knowledge or background of how you can do that. So if you are talking to a different group of people, you might know something, a skill through which you can kind of be relatable to that other group or community. And that way they feel as though you are kind of like-minded people. And from that common ground, from that comfort space, you're able to be yourself, and also help others do the same thing, basically. This can also indicate that you have upgraded your family life or your lifestyle in some way, kind of getting yourself out of generational stickiness or restrictions, perhaps imposed by certain ancestors, but now it is time to break free of those things. So fourth house can be undoing ancestral karma and subconscious programming and chartering a different path so it does not continue down the generations. It can be that you've built many houses. It could be a real estate agent kind of providing homes for people in community or otherwise. It can be a home for yourself that you have built or you have made, renovated in some way where you put your touch, and that's what feels like home. Because before being a home, it's going to be a house, right? It's just a house. It has buildings and it has walls and it has roof, ceiling, all of that. But once you move in and you add character to it, that's when it becomes home. So your family could be a source of pride and achievement for you as well. The home that you have built, you can be really proud to call it your home as well. It could be different and it is unique to you. it can be some sort of automation, technology things as well. Maybe you, have something like that going on in your house and you can do that yourself. That can be a source of pride too. All right, let's see. We have the Page of Cups. I'm loving the blue theme. It's consistent so far. Okay, then we have the Six of Swords. Okay. Then we have the Three of Cups. This is the like-minded people. Your siblings could be a source of pride as well. We have the Hierophant. Yeah, this is that ancestry and tradition. Perhaps you know how to continue the traditions that are meaningful, but you also know when to put a stop to things when it goes overboard. Because the Hierophant can be quite dogmatic. Okay, this is how it has been for centuries, therefore it is going to keep on being like this. But the ideal version of the Hierophant knows when to change the rules and regulations so that the genealogical line, keeps continuing, or the traditions continue. Perhaps they take a different shape and form, but they definitely continue the essence of things. So it might not be the same festival or the same occasion, but it can definitely have the same meaning, like honoring your ancestors, let's say, or cleansing the house. It depends on what you take as tradition. It can also be that you establish your own tradition or a culture that is present in your home, in your environment, if that resonates with you. It depends on where you're coming from. But either way, there is kind of an evolution, an upgrade, kind of forward movement in terms of that. But the essence is still remaining. The original intent of the family or the tradition is still remaining here, but you're practicing it in your own unique way. So that includes religion, not practicing in the very dogmatic way, taking your own spin on it, but you're not, completely rejecting it outright. That's another example. Page of Cups indicates that you're a very powerful manifester. You understand, because, when you have your throat chakra blocked, I feel like that's when also the manifestations don't come through, because there are certain blockages that we can't even see ourselves, right? So with this open heart and open throat, you can understand and hear your intentions. You can understand and see what is or is not good for you, what would stifle you, versus what would, actually free you. And you can call a spade a spade. You can communicate what is true outright. And you also know how to do that very compassionately. Therefore, you have a way of positive affirmations. Perhaps you practice it in your everyday. Perhaps that's how you motivate other people, and it has now become a bit of a habit. But that is one of the achievements that helps you attract a lot of, abundance. It is like-minded people in terms of friendships, other people who are not part of family who become like family because they share this kinship with you. They like your honesty, how genuine you are, how you can also be a guide figure whenever they need. It seems like you can give good guidance, or you can give good support. You have a different way of looking at things, or you remind them of what they might be missing, kind of the root of it. It's sort of nowadays there's so much complexity. We're always talking about the difficult topics, or looking at the nuances of many different things, that sometimes we might forget what the basic point of it is. What are we trying to achieve? What's the objective? What's the end goal? Right? So you can be a very grounding experience around people that are like-minded to you. It can be through social media, but also siblings and friends and relatives as well. What else? Let's see. We have the King of Pentacles. I was holding this forever. I was all right, now it's a good time to check it out. So King of Pentacles is about the home, family, legacy as well. Keeps kind of money safe and the position safe, upgrades authority. You could be a very strong leader, perhaps again that learned, very skilled, respected, and this is the grounding experience as well. People might come to you for advice. You might have done quite a lot of things from a young age. Perhaps you grew up very fast, or you are very natural with taking on responsibilities. But I love the presence of the Page of Cups here as well. It's just because you get more mature or get older, or you achieve a lot of things, you don't have to be like drab and boring about it, right? You can still have an open mind, you can still do your own things. Isn't that the point, to like achieve enough security so that you can be more free to express yourself as you are, right? So it's as though you're keeping your original dreams and intentions in mind, and you are kind of taking yourself to a lot of achievement here. Financial, a lot. Okay, the Hierophant and the King of Pentacles indicates an authority in some regard. So you can be a teacher, a researcher, a business owner, a real estate agent that I was talking about. You could be like traveling to many different places and kind of building connections there, kind of going international of sorts. It can also be kind of connecting with more educated people all over the world, so you're expanding yourself in that regard. Just, it feels like Page of Cups is like the entire world, with its flaws, with its whatever there is out there, is still a part. So we can't just be like, ew, that's disgusting, and I'm going to just, shove that aside and ignore it. Meanwhile, I'm going to like the good parts, right? Like, it just comes together. So practicing hate is not going to help anything combine anyway. So let's just open up and be like, okay, what's the deal here? What's your side of the story? Do you need help in this way or that way? Or what is it exactly that you need? So there is a very healthy and a basic sense of compassion that you always practice. And that automatically makes you very loved and appreciated in any social group. Okay, and also this one is indispensable in your career field. So whatever it is you do, it seems like you've upgraded yourself oftentimes. This curiosity and openness has took you very far, and it brings you a great sense of expansion, but also security. Okay, as if you can make changes without violating your security, right? You don't have to uproot yourself from one side of the world in order to explore another side, at least not nowadays anymore, right? So yeah, there's quite a few achievements here. Wow. Then we have inflow with money. Absolutely got that. You have enough money, you make enough money. I feel like you have various money channels in this lifetime where you can ensure security for yourself and also down the line. It's as though your old age is secure. You're like, I've achieved what I wanted to achieve. Who can I give back? The King of Pentacles is super charitable, very generous. It's like, who needs the money? And like, it's not like he just throws away money, and he still respects the financial aspect of things. But if somebody is skilled and talented, he immediately recognizes potential, and he's like, I'm gonna help you out. Okay, so when you're in a position to help, it looks like you're going all out, and that again, it just enhances your level of respect, because you're not throwing it away, nor are you holding it too tightly. Okay, wow. Then we have, what do you really want? Yes, important decisions you're taking in this life. The Six of Swords looks like you're choosing to move away from something or some place, okay? A thought pattern. It can be that you move away from the type of people you surrounded yourself with, or the place that you're living in. It's not because, who you're leaving behind is bad in any way. It's just that there's a lot more expansion and learning, and a lot of more things to really see and understand out there. Or it can be just circumstances kind of taking you elsewhere. But that transition, I think, is a very pivotal part of your story, okay? And that's where you might ask, what am I really wanting to achieve here? What am I going for? And it's a very empowering question to ask that, because before that point, if we don't have a choice point, then it's like, okay, we're just floating along with what is. And that works for a very long time. But then at some point, we're like, okay, so what do I bring to the table, right? So what do you really want? This is where you're looking for truth, you're looking for answers. This is where this throat chakra starts kind of opening up, and you understand your skills, your potentials, how far you want to go, how far you can go. All of those things, I feel you're looking for the truth. The Hierophant wants to see the truth here. Seeking it, he finds fulfillment here, okay? Wow. And we have one step ahead is all you need. Exactly, that one choice and that one step towards a dream, a vision, a goal, a desire that is going to bring so much achievement here. Okay, it's as though you have immense power. All right, if you're honest and you are powerful, that's like magic, right? And at least nowadays, it's like so rare to see. So it looks like you're generous, you're very powerful in yourself, in your potential and all of that. And you can do a lot of permanent change as well in whatever measure that you want. Yeah. So one step ahead is all you need. You take initiative whenever and whenever it counts. Okay. Then we have the mother. Okay, so you can be quite proud of your children or of your parents. You can be proud of your home and family environment, the culture that you are building as well. And this can also pertain to like projects and things that you protect and nurture. Okay, it doesn't have to be familial in any way. So if you have money, then you're protecting your money. If you have an idea, you protect and nurture your ideas, right? If you're moving to a new house or you're building your new house, you're going to take care of it, right? You're not going to abandon it, things like that. And whatever it is that you choose to protect becomes a source of achievement. Then we have the nectar. This is kind of all the blessings, it looks like, right? You attract a lot of blessings to yourself. You know how to speak it, you know how to, that's what I'm hearing. You know how to speak it to creation. Okay, so if you don't already practice manifestation, law of attraction, please do so, because whatever it is that you want to have, it's so easy for you to bring that into alignment with you. So doing some scripting or just saying something out loud with a lot of intention and passion basically can already help you attract it into your life. Then we have agape. Okay, this looks like a lot of alignment, honestly, but I have to take the book, read a bit. Okay, so it talks about devotion and service. Okay, so that's a lot of unconditional love, and I think the things that you love are a source of fulfillment and achievement for you as well. So you can be proud of your children, of your projects, your business, your creativity. It can be of your parents and your tradition, your culture, all of those things. Like anything that you are proud of and you really love and want to protect and nurture, those are your source of growth and expansion as well. It teaches you many things, but you also give in a lot of yourself. There's this word called miraki. I'm feeling that over here. It indicates that you put your heart and soul into something, and that something carries a very special essence to it because you put a part of yourself in there. So even if technically it looks the same as many other things, it has a different feeling to it. There is a soul to it, basically. So there's something here about that. Even in the friends, connections, and all of that you build, it's like a vibe that is surrounded around them. When you wish to love something, someone, and wish to protect something, someone, it's as though you kind of extend a bubble of protection around them. Even if you're not doing that, intentionally, it happens over here. And it's like a lot of people adore and admire you, it looks like, and look up to you as well, right? So in that case, there is like a mutual love that is there, and it kind of, I'm just constantly seeing like a bubble. You're protected, you know how to protect. You're not overly stringent about like boundaries. You're not like saying no to everyone and everything. You're properly inclusive, but you're very careful as well, like who you share yourself with and how much as well. And again, basically with the what do you really want indicates that you know how to ask the right questions to yourself in order to get ahead in life. And you're getting a lot of ahead in this life, okay? The higher, if you look at the number of steps, right? It's as though you go so far, you can see yourself and you're like this much when you look back, right? It's like, wow, I can't believe so much can happen in a year, in 5 years, and it's not really a very long time when you look back, right? Wow, so a lot happens in a short period of time, it looks like. All right. What else can we know about the achievements? Pile 2. We have Pluto, Taurus, and the 11th house. So your friendships changing, your friendships' lives. or your friends' lives, your connections. Again, if you have more social influence, if you have various groups of communities that you interact with, also indicates like, you know, social media networks, like, yeah, all of the things that we have available. Either way, you have a very meaningful impact. This also indicates some charity work as well, where you actually change someone's life, you know, if not one, then many people's lives. The King of Pentacles is all about the charity and giving back to the society, because yeah, you can't like hold on to economy and expect it to grow at the same time, right? Like, pick your battle, pick your side. So yes, you can give back to society here. That's a huge achievement. So it kind of attracts a lot of, you have a lot of gravitas or meaning in a large scale. It can even be like your past school friends as well. If you're not resonating with like a global charity work, then it can just be the people that you've impacted in your life throughout your life so far, and throughout your life in the future as well is going to be growing in importance and meaning as well. Okay. Especially financially, you can help others out, or you are empowering people in some way. Taurus is about that empowerment, stability, security, self-worth, and value. All right, so that's what I have for you, Pile 2. Thank you so much for being here. I really hope the reading resonated and that it helps you out. Let me know your thoughts, and if you want a personal reading, you can reach me via Etsy. The link is in the description box in the comment below. I will see you some other time. Until then, take care. Bye. Hi Pile 3, welcome to your reading. Let's get into what your greatest hits or your achievements are in this lifetime. The first card we have here is Santosha, which is about contentment and bliss. And the next card we have is Lalita Tripura Sundari. This is the goddess of sensuality and the feminine freedom. It is basically talking about, you know how to have fun or enjoy life to the fullest. You can also spread joy. You just have a very beautiful vibe is what I'm getting. So people who are around you, they can feel soothed because this is what you live in, this is what you practice, and so on. It can be that at some point you were not very peaceful, or you were not very content, and you had to like actively work on these things. But I'm really getting a high level of quality in the type of fun that you have. So it's not, you know, very basic stuff. Basically, when you have food, for example, then it's not like pizzas and junk or something, even though that is also fun once in a while, but it's like a specific mood. Meanwhile, what I'm getting here is like, you know how to gourmet things, or you can take very simple things but you make something magical out of that, such that it seems like surprising that something so basic can be something more complex or refined. So yes, the quality of fun and enjoyment that you have is very fulfilling here, and it leaves everybody who shares that space with you very peaceful and content as well. This also indicates that you know how to engage your senses and engage the senses of others. So when you are giving presentations, you can be very captivating. You have a very charming aura, and you could have worked on your self-presence or like confidence that you show when you present something, when you move, when you dress in some way, whatever it is, you make yourself step into a sensual vibe. So you use all of these senses around you and also engage other senses in order to convey a specific message, basically. We have Mercury here, which is about communication, mind, intellect, reasoning, and language. This can indicate that the way you communicate is very inviting. So you open the space for many people to share their views, but you're also very clear in what your opinion or stance is. Then we have Capricorn, which indicates that you've been through some hard times and you have come out wiser and more experienced at the end of it. And Capricorn as well, okay, like it's about quality. It's about up-leveling and upgrading life, creating a legacy, forming enough stability that, you know, a legacy is allowed to form such that generations can carry something forward. And that obviously implies that we must kind of step outside of our comfort zones, create systems that work for the long haul, go through some difficulties once in a while, so that, you know, we gather some lessons, we become wiser, we become stronger, more mature, and all of that. I feel a protective vibe here as well, so you have a very loving nature, but you can also be very fierce and protective of everything that you care about. Cardinal signs are about taking initiative, so you take the first step. If you want to form a relationship with someone, then you take the first step. If you're interested in a specific subject, you go ahead and ask questions about where you can learn more about it, or how can you gather more information to, you know, expand your knowledge, awareness, and experience in a specific direction. If you are into arts and creativity, then you the way that you translate your ideas into form, into reality, is quite different from the status quo. But it can also indicate that you learn from your experts and from your authority figures. Just because you do something differently does not mean that you neglect the people who have come before you. So you earn the respect of your elders, you have the blessings of your elders, and Mercury is giving me the vibe of mercurial, which indicates that you can interact with your peers and your juniors as well, in a very relatable manner. So you have the support of all three generations basically, and that's like incredible. Okay, let's see what else we have. And with Capricorn, it can be that you're an expert in something, so that level of expertise is one of achievement. This is the ultimate authority figure, authority position, so yeah, it can be a matriarch system that you might be introducing or putting in place in your family environment or in your community, or that's what you are being recognized as. Okay, then we have the Four of Wands. This is literally a celebration card. It indicates that you have a lot of things to celebrate in this lifetime, many milestones that you complete. It can even be your living space, the house that you build for yourself, or the family that you surround yourself with. We have the Chariot here, which indicates your willpower and your determination is one achievement here. It's like you're always on the go. You have the next goal in mind. You have a lot of strength to keep yourself going. You have a lot of focus and concentration as well. Whenever that does not mean that you don't go through hurdles. Okay, just because something is moving fast doesn't mean it has no challenges. It just means that it can cope with whatever challenges are in the way. Same goes for the Capricornian vibe, okay? Always on the go, and regardless of, you know, wind, storm, rain, whatever, the mountain goat keeps on plowing because it wants to reach the specific goal here. We have the Judgment here, which indicates divine blessings, divine liberation, and a sense of purpose. So there is like a lot more to it than like going for a random goal. So it's not like, you know, complete this level or this course and that's it. Judgment is something that is liberating. So it feels as though you're a very free person, and that is a very, like, I feel like we all keep fighting for freedom, but no one's really free. But in your case, it's as though you're able to enjoy things, but you're not attaching to those senses. Okay, so Judgment is liberation from attachment and keeping that soul in mind, this purpose in mind, the higher picture in mind, but kind of seeing your everyday as a way of furthering the soul. And that's exactly the point, right? We come into this human form and we want to experience the world and kind of see how that feels like. It's just really real while we are here, but it's not the end-all know-all type of situation. So this goes back to the blessings and guidance that I was getting, that you have from your ancestors, your elders, from your peers and everybody. All in all, it looks like you are wanting to be free and you are being free. That level of liberation and faith and purpose that you have in yourself, in your destinations, is incredible. It can also talk about you liberating people around you, or communities and topics around you as well. For example, sensuality, sexuality, all of these things can be quite tabooed, but I feel like you communicate about it and you're very free in your expression, but at the same time you show it in a very balanced honest way, and that can inspire a lot of people to free themselves as well. It doesn't, like, freedom does not have to be reckless, right? It doesn't have to just dismiss everything else, because then it becomes quite imbalanced in that manner, right? But I feel like you got this down. We have the Queen of Wands, again, very bold, very confident, holds a presence. So it's like when you talk, people notice. Or when you enter a room, your presence is very noticeable. You also give a very warm and approachable vibe. So anybody can open up to you. You're very empowering. You're super empowered as well. Again, the way you communicate and hold attention is really coming out strong as an achievement here. So once you have attention, I mean, you can say whatever you want and it will be received either negatively, positively, but in your case it is more of the positive type because you're communicating quite warmly and positively as well. Queen of Wands is also very generous. She's a fire sign combined with a water sign, so she has empathy, compassion, she experiences bliss and joy. But she also shares it with others very generously. She kind of brings people together as well for a common cause, for common goals. She kind of she does not allow darkness to prevail. So if there is like a miscommunication or ignorance or anything of that sort, then, you know, she's going to talk it out with whoever. Like, why, you know, speculate in the backdrop when you can talk about it? So there can be an honest, direct, communicative part of you. And that is, again, quite appreciated because you do it quite tactfully. Even though you're straightforward and direct, you still are like respectful of everything and everyone that's like around you. Okay, then we have the Tower. Wow. Yeah, this can be talking about breaking down oppression and suppression, kind of breaking systems that don't work. Anything that is too stagnant, honestly, that like anyway does not stand the test of time, but it looks like you are one of those, you know, instigators of change. Okay, so you can be into women empowerment, for example, or you can be into like going to more obscure places, and wherever there is oppression of any type, you can, you know, help out with that in some way, whether you're like physically going there and helping or from a distance. That is a different story. Or you might like talk about it, kind of raise awareness about things. And again, you're doing this in a very pleasant manner because Tower can be quite disruptive, if not combined with the rest of the cards. Okay, wow. All right, then we have, also can be like music as well, by the way, music and art. Yeah, there can be like many different ways that you're creating an impact, whether you're like intending to create an impact or not. This is definitely one of the achievements you're creating. There is like a power for change type of vibe with the Tower. All right, we have imbalance, which corresponds with the Temperance energy. This brings about healing, okay, and equality as well. So you are definitely acting in a balanced manner, but you might be like advocating for equality in different, you know, fields. You can be a force for change, basically. That's what I keep hearing. Then we have the distraction of shiny things with card number 15, corresponding to the Devil. Honestly, this is what I was getting, like sensuality and sexuality is combined within the Devil card, and it indicates like the bodily satisfaction, like we eat food and we have the taste, we like good food, we like a good, you know, music and all of that. That's engaging the senses. But when we get like too attached to it, we're like, no, I cannot live without food, I can't live without this, and you know, that's a form of attachment where we become combined with that object of our satisfaction. That's when the Devil takes on the devilish tone, but otherwise it's just enjoying the pleasures as is. So with these two cards at the very top that we first got, and also the Judgment, that's exactly what I was feeling. You can have fun and you can have really good fun, real good fulfillment, but you don't get attached to those things because you know there is a lot more to it. And that's what actually up levels your quality of anything, any work you do, anything you talk about, any people you connect with, anything you try and experience, and so on. Also, the Devil corresponds with the Capricornian energy. It just says that you've gone through a lot of obstacles and you've kind of torn through the veil of illusion and all of that. kind of met your own shadows, dealt with your internal turmoils, and you've come out so much stronger that there's like nothing that can shake you anymore. Okay, you've come into balance, you're in peace with your feminine side, with your masculine side. You know how to work with yourself, your strengths and your flaws. You know how to communicate yourself very well based on the audience that you're connecting with. That's the thing about feminine energy, right? It can like adapt, it flows, and it understands first. It gets feedback, it senses the room, and then it wants to make its point. Then we have Soul on Fire, which corresponds with, quite literally, this feels like the Queen of Wands holding the flame over here, same flame it looks like. So yeah, there can be an awakening of purpose as well. Tower can indicate epiphanies coming from the soul. There can be an awakening at some point, especially if you've gone through like this dark night of the soul type of phase, where everything seems bleak and it feels as though, what am I even doing? That kind of question. At that point, there is like a turnaround, and it's like there comes a breakthrough, and that's basically an awakening. Whether it's a permanent one or not, that's kind of separate. It's dependent on your personal journey, but it definitely awakens a spark within you, and you can't help but notice it, can't help but follow through on it. So the judgment here is like, let your soul kind of guide you, that type of vibe. And yeah, that goes with the, you're working with your physical body and your physical senses, but you're not like super attached to it. And that's such a healthy balance, because that way you can learn so much. Mercury is also very open and curious, so is the Queen of Wands. Like, you're ready to listen to anybody in your surroundings. You can learn from different people, so even if you are rising in your expertise, you're still very humble in your approach. You can showcase yourself very confidently, but you can also hear from others, and that only makes you even better in whatever it is that you're driven towards. Because the Chariot indicates that what your focus is, what your objective is, you are achieving a lot in that area. There can be some changes, but I feel like it's a power move from your part as well. So when you shake yourself out of previous limitations, that's a power move you're making, a bold move you're taking for yourself, your future, and the legacy you want to build. We have the Shapeshifter here, which again goes with that adaptable vibe that I was getting. You can feel the room, you can understand the needs and desires of people at different points in time, and in different spaces, different cultures, and all of that. And honestly, like, life keeps changing, right? We can't expect it to be the same forever. So the shape-shifting quality is quite necessary, and we all have that in some capacity, but I feel like you've gone through a lot of changes yourself. It could be locational changes too, and that has shown you the many facets that can be possible of people. So for example, you would say things like, I don't agree with that, but I understand where people are coming from when they say this, or when they have this particular opinion. I can understand. I'm not that, but I can get it. That type of vibe. So then you make people feel understood and that they have a space to be open, but you don't have to become them, right? What else? Yeah, just the adaptability and versatility is just really excellent. It can be that you have a lot of different skill sets as well, especially with Mercury. You have so many skills, it could be like hard to commit to one particular skill to kind of develop on that, but I feel like ultimately it is going to be everything that helps you become an expert in one thing. So let's say you're into graphic design, photography, music, and drama. Okay, let's just take these. And let's say you pick drama as your top choice. In that moment when you're making a choice, it might feel as though you're abandoning your other hobbies, and while you're going through your education or your training or your practice, whatever, you might feel guilty, or you might like contest yourself on did I make the right choice, or like, do I want that, and so on and so forth. And there, it can feel a little bit like turmoil in that moment, but inevitably I feel like you're going to bring about the other skills that you have, and you're going to modify its expression so that it fits in with the drama. So if you have a skill for music, then you might include some musical parts within the drama. If you are good at graphic design, then maybe while you're editing the videos and things like that, you can include some of those skills, right? So you're not abandoning anything, but you're especially skilled and expert in one thing, and then you're using your other skills to make yourself stand out. Okay. Next we have Anima Mundi, which is about like everything is connected. That's what this basically says. All the planets are within us. We are within each planet. Like it's the soul of everything that is very connected to one another. So when we create a change on the inside, you see a change on the outside, and vice versa. Right? It also indicates our relationship with the universe at large, so, and also the chakra system. It's just, you know, seeing the similarities in so many different things around us can really show the interconnectedness of everything. Also, one thing to note, we have card number 15 here again. So I'm getting 15, 15, 15. You might see that quite often, 1 and 5, or you might see 6s when there is like a pivotal change coming up in your life. Or it might indicate that, you know, you're the one who's taking charge of making very powerful changes. 5 stand for transformation and changes, and 1 is about initiation and new beginnings. So yes. Now, you can see the soul in everything, and that kind of enhances your empathy as well. You have a very creation focus too, or like something you create is going to have a very global impact if you want it to. I don't know what exactly your focus is, of course, but it has a more widespread impact than only you, basically. Okay. And the tower is no like child's play, so yeah, it seems like a more social thing that you can impact either your field or the people around you, the community at large, the internet, yes. Also, this goes with the sensuality that I was getting, that, you know, we can't like ignore one thing and then praise another thing and call ourselves like balanced, right? We have to look at the pros and the cons of both sides. Like nothing on its own is balanced. It needs another side of the coin to balance it, right? So Anima Mundi is kind of the understanding that, you know, the devil is not all bad, right? Or tower is not all disruption, right? We got such like controversial cards here for your reading, honestly, but it's all like, you know, a flip of a switch. You understand both sides of the story. That's exactly what makes you an excellent shapeshifter. You can really understand the nuances of things. And Anima Mundi is also like the quality of things. So when you cook something, you don't want to make like carrots and, you know, mashed potato or something. You want to make like damn good carrots, and you want to make the best mashed potatoes ever, right? So it's still a simple dish, but you're taking it to a whole other level because you're putting in more attention and focus into that. Okay, so what else can we get for skills? What is the greatest achievement, please, for Pisces? We have the 4th house, Venus and Scorpio. Okay, transformation of the home and family. There is, you might be a very strong maternal figure or, feminine figure within your family, your ancestry. You might come from a lineage of very strong women or feminine energies. Even if you're, you know, a guy, it doesn't matter really. It's about that feminine power that is there of, you know, birthing, of creation, of transformation and change, fluidity, adaptability, and all of those things, right? This also indicates that you might have gone through some difficulties in your home and family life in the past, and you've transformed out of that, and you've become much stronger. You know how to take care of a good home. You know how to make a good home for yourself, for other people that you care about. You're also quite protective over your creations, anything that you love and care about. What else? Scorpio has a very strong sense of intuition and empathy, compassion as well, especially in the 4th house. So you have an innate knowledge of what people need, even if they don't explicitly say it. Okay, so you can understand the intentions of someone, and that can help you kind of bridge the gap. Like, I know you're coming from a very good place, but the way that you're saying something makes it seem like something completely different. So you can help others with communication, right? Or you might be a teacher for like music or verbal skills. You might teach a language, things like that, where you actually understand where a person is coming from, and then you help them refine it. Okay, Venus is also related with sensuality again, so you are flowing, you're adaptable, you're understanding, and you create harmony in like any environment that you go into. You can also be you have like innate skills for counseling, for example, and you can have a very practical and also emotionally engaging approach to helping others out with their issues. Whether that's like in a psychological sense or not, honestly, you have that skill already, and that can lead to a lot of achievements for you. You are also creating a very strong foundation for yourself, and this is going to impact your lineage down the road. Scorpio in the 4th house and Venus can also indicate like love for all, right? So you'd recognize the dark side of like many things, and that's why you don't discriminate. Like everyone has a dark side, for example. That would be one of the statements that's coming through this. Everyone has a dark side, so we can't really shun one group and then be nice to another just because they show this facade and they show another facade and so on, right? So there's like a love and appreciation for reality, but at the same time there's like so much of that adaptable floatiness. It's a very wild balance, and it's like super empowered here. Okay, and that honestly magnetizes a lot of things, because Venus and Scorpio are quite magnetic. So it's like you have insane manifestation powers, and you can always attract the right audience or the right group of people, like-minded people, and so on. And that leads to like a lot of growth too, because Venus connects with money and connections. Okay, so yes, that's what I have for you, Pile 3. Thank you so much for being here. I really hope the reading resonated and that it helps you out. Let me know your thoughts, and if you want a personal reading, you can reach me via Etsy. The link is in the description box and the comment below. I will see you some other time. Until then, take care. Bye. Hi, Pile 4. Welcome to your reading. We will see what your greatest achievements are in this lifetime. The first card we have is Muladhara, which is the root chakra. And the next we have is the solar plexus chakra. So this is giving me a lot of like warrior vibe, because this here corresponds with empowerment, and this is about earth, patriotism. It's about like standing up for something. It's like being solidified in a specific belief, finding a home, security, all of those things. So it's a very survival type of chakra here, and it's like the basis of our existence. The first right we need to feel is the right of belonging, and then you move up to the sacral, where it's like the right to express, and in the solar plexus you have the right to be as you are, basically, and kind of do what you want to do exactly, right? So there's a lot of strength, energy, radiance, confidence is what I'm feeling, but it's like very gravitas type thing, right? So you're fighting for something. There is a lot of focus and concentration in that specific region. This can be in the form of entrepreneurship, where you're like fighting for a cause or like standing up for a certain like belief, starting a new school of some type and so on. Or it can be that you're interested in the army, you're helping out with the army in some way, or you're fighting for a specific cause in and around the world, like whatever the subject of interest is for you. But the drive and motivation is like super strong. You're solid in your beliefs, and that's one of your greatest strengths and also accomplishments. The drive you have is helping you establish a lot of ground, honestly. This chakra is absolutely needed to create structures and create foundations for like anything that we want to achieve. Without that, like, what are you building up on? Right, so this is, I think, the most important chakra that we absolutely need to nail before we move on to the, the higher chakras that are present. So, wow, that's very like sincere, responsible. You're very reliable as well. You give very practical advice. You know how to move forward. Anything about like efficiency, productivity, all of those things, you have the best advice. People are more motivated by you. They're empowered by you. It can be that you have a very good sense of boundary and space as well. So you nurture your space and surrounding. You protect what is yours. You are secure in yourself, and you inspire others to do the same as well. So that's a great achievement here for you. Then we have North Node, which indicates life mission, hidden talents, and destination. Yeah, so it can be that you're exploring a lot of your hidden talents too, because with the root chakra, it's like you have a lot of inherent qualities, but as you go higher, you're like expressing them more, especially in the solar plexus. You start like externalizing it. So let's say you have a latent talent for writing, but you won't start writing. You're more in the practicing phase. You're like, okay, I can write, it's fine, like I can feel secure in my words, maybe learn the vocabulary and the grammar and things like that. But when you get to the solar plexus, you're like showing that out loud. You might like create a blog post, or you might, you know, create more audiobooks or create ebooks and things like that, which is more externalized than you, which is doing something for something or someone else. So it's as though you're exploring the many different facets within you, and you kind of seeing what is honestly you and what is not. It can be that you are also learning to unlearn certain lessons in order to teach yourself certain skills. Like when we are growing up in a certain environment, it's easy for some of our skills to get lost in the process. But as we grow up, then we can kind of see and explore whatever we develop a new affinity towards. We can start exploring that on our own, right? So that authority, the self-authority, kind of releasing the negative authority patterns if you have any, and also empowering yourself through being an authority yourself, and exploring yourself as well. That's an achievement. Then we have the 11th house, which talks about your impact in a social group. So it can be that your friends are very impacted by you. It can indicate that you're impacting the world at large. So again, the rebel with a cause type of vibe is coming through, or like a warrior with a cause, I would rather say. I'm not getting a rebel vibe here. But like there is a cause, you want to do something for something, this like the life mission type of vibe here. Okay, so definitely very strong, determined spirit that you have is helping you gather a lot of acknowledgement or validation, support from the world at large. And whatever it is that you want to do, it seems to be geared towards providing empowerment and or security for the world at large. Okay, then we have Pisces, which is it's a very worldly card once more. It's being very spiritual. It's like having unconditional love, kind of not combining, but like appreciating the collective nature of things. Like, sure, you are different from me and I'm different from you. Great, okay. But that doesn't mean that we don't all need the same things, or that we're all not looking for the same things, right? So Pisces kind of looks at what combines and unifies all of us towards a common cause. So it can be that you're looking at, okay, what are we really looking for? What do I really think is authentic to me? What is my very soulful signature? Like, what is uniquely me? So that can be a question that is a quest in your lifetime, where you're asking, who am I really, right? And you might take others along the same journey, because it's not just you trying to figure that out, right? So you can come together with like-minded people or like souls in order to uncover your collective purposes or your specific individual purposes, kind of help each other out through the process. Pisces also indicates a very loving and gentle soul. So even though there is like a warrior vibe coming through, it's still from a place of love. It's wanting unity and love and all of that, like all the amazing stuff basically. So fighting for a cause is then going to equalize the front. It is going to like mitigate injustice. I feel like that's one of those things that you're working on. It can also indicate like intuition, also creativity, and like creation at large, like universal systems and laws basically. So you can be someone who is like, okay, this is not right to any soul. So like not taking life, for example, that can be a very Piscean way. So you're fighting, but you're not really fighting. You're doing something very compassionately here. Okay, let's get some more clues. What are your greatest achievements? We have the Six of Swords, progress and growth. 10 of Cups, happiness, bliss, and harmony. you create in your surroundings, in your place. It's like you cultivate a lot of happiness for yourself and your loved ones. We have the King of Wands, which is again a very warrior spirit, also with the lion in the back. It's a Leo energy, very fiery. It talks about listening to your gut instinct. So if you're not very good at listening to your intuition and instinct, that's one of those things that you're learning through this life, and you kind of use that as a skill set to just be happier in life. King of Wands also is a very entrepreneurial card. It's super empowering, has a lot of strength and courage. You might be very bold at making decisions, bold statements, just making something very apparent and clear, fighting for a stance and all of those things. So that is one of your achievements. Also talks about leadership. Same goes with the solar plexus. You can make a very good leader who can give, again, very practical and fierce guidance and motivational speeches, for example, yeah? And then we have the Strength, which is the Leo card. And Leo represents like creativity, also the warrior spirit, of course. And it also talks about just having fun. Okay, so how can we all come to like a basic understanding and like respect each other so that each and every one of us can have fun, right? Let's all just combine and stop being afraid of so many things. Also, yeah, before I forget, the Pisces is about fears and insecurities as well when it is in the shadow side. And that's what we deal with when we are in the root chakra here. There can be like fears of existence, like maybe I don't deserve to exist, that is one of the very like fundamental questions that comes with a blocked root chakra. So basic fears that people around the world encounter, or you have encountered, people around you might have, you can be like talking about those things or working on in some way kind of helping that to diminish or like equalize in some way, so empowering others in that manner to deal with their fears. Okay, Strength also has this nuance that you can thrive in any surrounding. Like it feels like you're very seasoned, you're experienced, or it's the experiences that you go through that kind of raise you to a super empowered being, where you can be a leader for like everybody. Basically, you can be a very good leader figure, regardless of whether you're dealing with a very strongly opinionated person or you're dealing with someone who's really shy and reserved. You can make everyone empowered and kind of have their voice heard. And that's what makes anybody that is around you and everything that you grow as a big one, one big happy family, basically. Then we have the Magician, which talks about that expert communication and also being very, very skilled. That my life mission with the North Node is giving me that vibe again, that you're exploring your many, many different skill sets, and that you have a lot of skills as well that makes you super talented in whatever that you choose to become an expert in. And whatever you choose, like if let's say you have too many choices and you don't really know which one to pick, the one that is going to be yours is going to be something that just ignites you from within. Like it's a true passion. Like you can't help but do it. It's like even if you're scared of, what might be the outcome and whatever, you're still like, but I gotta go do it. I have to try it out because it really spurs you on. Okay, so that would be the right choice here. Whatever it is. Magician, again, the diplomacy and tact, very charming. Also, these two cards over here talk about charm, so you can, again, attract attention. You hold a commanded presence as well. The Magician talks about social media too, so you might make things very clear. You're like, your opinion or your stance is very clear, but then it also like invites communication or discussions on certain topics too. Yes, also you can be very skilled at like, if this more applies if you already have a business, it's like different people have different skill sets, so you know how to delegate the tasks as well. Then we have Justice, so that's quite literally what we have been talking about since the beginning, that you are working for justice in some way, or you find a level of balance and equality in some area of life. Not only extending to yourself, but also people at large. We have 1, 11, and 11, so we have 5 ones right there. So it talks about you creating a new beginning in some way in your own life. It's like a fresh page, new chapter entirely. You're like writing your own thing. The Magician is a co-creator too. And Strength indicates that you listen to your soul, but you're also working with your physical being. It's like you exercise, you take care of the food you eat, the air you breathe be the amount of time you spend in nature and things like that. So you take care of your very basic needs, but you also can expand beyond that, basically. And that's exactly what makes you a very balanced individual, and, you know, puts you in a position where you can actually guide other people too. All right, then we have cozy up with risk. Yeah, we did see the whole bold, courageous type of vibe going on, so I'm not going to repeat myself, but it can be that you take many chances in life, calculated risks, I feel, because the magician is obviously going to like check the pros and cons with the justice, and the magician is like, you know, is it possible or a viable option right now? Maybe we can do some clever or creative problem solving over here, and that's how it decides a calculated risk, right? So it's not like crazily abandoning everything and just dropping things. So yeah, again, that's a very balanced way to go about risks, right? And then we have you are light. So that motivation, the inspiring charisma, like there's the magnetic vibe here. But this is like a lot higher than that. This kind of corresponds with the crown chakra. So it's like you come with a lot of positive vibes, for a lack of better terminology, positive vibe, but you also have a very welcoming, you know, aura to you. Kind of people want to be around you. You're inviting. Can be just a charming smile, it can be a calm demeanor, it can show up in many different ways, but either way you're quite appealing to people. And again, you put a positive spin on things, and that doesn't mean that, you know, you don't know about the hard stuff or like the basic and practical parts of life. You do, but then you also spin that out. You're like, yeah, but given our constraints, we can still do this and that, you know? We can still change our approach. We can solve this differently. We can look at it differently. We can ask other people. We can get more people into this. We don't have to be alone in all of this. Things like that, you know? There is a uniting influence to you. Somehow you know how to bring people together, but you also know how to like keep the peace, even though there are many different types of people there. So like incredible people skills, basically. All right, then we have the warrior. Okay, well, there you go. We have the warrior. So you're definitely a light warrior. I've heard that somewhere. But yeah, I don't normally use terminology like that because I feel kind of pulled to define those things too. But either way, there is like a warrior vibe here, but it's again coming from a place of love. The snake here is symbolizing transformation and rebirth as well. So you could have gone through a lot of shedding yourself, so you know like how much is too much and how much can be handleable. You're not afraid of change, but you're not afraid of structure and authority either. Okay, so very balanced perspective here. Then we have Thanatos, which is talking about death. And this again indicates transformation, letting go of things that are not beneficial anymore. So does the Six of Swords. So changing your mentalities, shifting your habits, kind of looking at fears differently. You know, fears exist in like everybody, but it's like being afraid of fear is what stops you, not the fear itself. And the King of Wands, Strength, both of these cards are not afraid of fear. Okay, they're like, yep, I know, and like I don't want to kill people, I don't want to like go to war and like destroy another country or whatever. I want to create peace, I want to have like harmony and all of that. But you know, people already have gone through some hard stuff, so I want to help them understand what they have gone through, or like help them get through to the other side so they can feel happier and motivated, things like that. So you're not acknowledging the dark, you're not like dismissing the darker side of things, you're acknowledging it. And that's what makes you a lot more wholesome and relatable to a lot of people as well. Okay. The 11th house is quite realistic in that way, like it can spot what is, you know, fake and what is not. So I feel like you can see it yourself too, and you don't want to be part of anything fake. So even if you're like influential and charming and all of that, I don't see a very manipulative use of it because of that warrior nature that is coming here. Both of these cards over here, the solar plexus and also the root, always want to go for what is authentic, what is true to you, all of that, okay? Any people who are going through self-worth, self-esteem issues, you're able to help them out as well. All right, now, what else? Greatest achievements of pile 4, please. we have Jupiter in Sagittarius, and we have the 6th house. So yeah, this is literally all about empowerment and expansion. You go through a lot of change in your career or your occupation. There can be some changes you make, like in terms of designation. But also it can be shifting to something more of a like a motivational speaker or spiritual leader in some way, or like going through different healing techniques, because Jupiter is very like optimistic and it wants to show like the brighter side of things and where we can grow, because honestly we can't really change the past, right? We can learn from it, and that's literally the best we can do. If we can rectify certain things, sure, we can like apologize or like let go or whatever, but apart from that we can't change the events of the past. So Jupiter and Sagittarius are like, okay, how do I look forward to the future? What's the foresight here? How can I not have the past repeat, basically? How can I create a more abundant future for myself? So you can be a benefactor in that way. You can be a thought leader of sorts. You can communicate your ideas of empowerment in some way. 6th house is being of service, right? So you're doing this for others, but you're also a very good leader and a pioneer in what it is that you're doing. Also, I feel like you're learning, or you have learned from the experts in your field, if this is related to career specifically. Apart from that, 6th house relates with healing and alternative healing as well. I was getting something. Yes, the diet and the lifestyle and all of that. 6th house basically connects with the solar plexus. Not always, but this is what I'm feeling right now. Because how we take care of ourselves determines the amount of energy that we have within us, right? If we eat very poorly, then we have lesser energy, right? If we eat very sporadically as well, we have kind of sporadic energy as well. So Jupiter in the 6th house can help you have a good routine for yourself. So you might be a dietitian of sorts, and of helping everybody have a personalized report of what they should and should not be consuming, right? That's one other example. But either way, there's like a growth and expansion where like your physical body is taken care of, your health is perfectly fine, and that way you're kind of ready to take on the world in whatever way that suits you, right? So you could be the warrior here in helping others, but you can also get help from people, and that kind of turns your life around as well. I feel like you've gone through a lot of self-healing too. Philosophy, religion, spirituality, these things could have been of great influence to you in your life as well. You can also be a leader in that regard. Also travel. Yeah, I don't see travel in the cards here, honestly, but except from the 6 of Swords, but like you could travel for your service. So let's say you're a doctor, then you don't want to like sit in one place. You want to go to different countries which don't have doctors, and you want to offer your services in that way. So you're being generous and you're fighting for like equal rights in that regard, right? So it can be, again, many different ways. I can give innumerable examples, but I hope you get the point. So yes, that's what I have for you, Pile 4. Thank you so much for being here. I really hope the reading resonated and that it helps you out. Let me know your thoughts, and if you want a personal reading, you can reach me via Etsy. The link is in the description box and the comment below. I will see you some other time. Until then, take care. Bye.